The Nostromo, a commercial towing vehicle carrying 20 million tons of mineral ore and a crew of 7, glides through the vast emptiness of space. The crew are awakened from their stasis sleep. Executive Officer Kane, Dallas the captain, Ash the science officer, the ship's navigator Lambert, Warrant Officer Ripley, Engineer Parker, and Brett the technician. The crew are on their way back home after securing a rather large payload. However, unbeknownst to them, home is going to be nowhere in sight. Dallas is called to Mother, the ship's computer, while the rest take to their stations. Lambert quickly discovers that they aren't heading home. In fact, they're nowhere near it. Dallas gathers everyone together to inform them that Mother intercepted a transmission of unknown origin, hence why they're still out in the boondocks. They can't make heads or tails of what the transmission could be, but as Ash points out, they're obligated to check out anything that may be of an intelligent origin, otherwise they could be subject to complete monetary forfeiture. The signal is unlike anything ever heard before. A voice, random static, it's hard to describe just what everyone is hearing. Lambert homes in on where the signal seems to be coming from, a nearby moon with 0.86 times the gravity of Earth. The Nostromo hangs high above the uncharted celestial body as the crew prepare to descend upon it. The shuttle disengages from its mothership and begins hurtling towards the surface of the moon. Immense turbulence rocks the ship, causing it to lose one of its shields. Technician Brett does all he can do to hold it together, while Lambert finds a flat area of terrain to land the ship on. The ship drops down on the barren moon, but damage and fires in the engine room have caused a loss of power. Luckily, the auxiliary generator has kicked in and they have power, for now. It'll be another 15 to 20 hours until things are repaired. In the meantime, they continue to receive the distress signal once every 32 seconds. Mother, the ship's computer system, informs them that sunrise will be in about 20 minutes, and the location of the signal is 3,000 meters away, close enough to walk. Dallas, Kane, and Lambert will be the first to walk out and check on this signal, while Ripley, Brett, Parker, and Ash remain aboard to repair the ship and observe what the others find. The three throw on their spacesuits, the atmosphere a mixture of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, methane, and frozen ammonia. They also carry weapons, however they're given strict instructions by Dallas not to touch them unless he tells them to. Ash watches them from a monitor, but the air is so thick with dust, they can barely see 3 feet in front of them. Only 10 more minutes until sunrise, and with the wind and dust blowing all around, they trudge on. On the ship, Parker and Brett are left to fix what's left in the engine room, while Ripley tries to identify what the signal they've been receiving means exactly. The sunlight hits the moon, the dust has settled, and the crew are just making it over a clearing when they finally discover the source of the signal, a massive ship of unknown origin. It appears to be dead. No power, no signs of life from within. The group loses contact with Ash, but find an opening and decide to go inside. They come to a chamber where they find the fossilized remains of some alien life form and the source of that transmission. Wanting to know what happened, they decide to explore further. Kane is lowered down into a chamber of some kind with a cable and hoist. Meanwhile, Mother has deciphered part of the signal, and it wasn't a call for help, but a warning to stay away. Ripley wants to leave the ship and tell Dallas what she uncovered, but Ash reminds her they're to stay aboard and make sure the ship is capable of takeoff. Kane reaches the bottom of the chamber and finds rows and rows of strange leathery objects. One of the objects begins to open, and as Kane peers inside, a creature leaps out and attaches itself to his face. As sun begins to set, Ash finally gets the crew back on their screens, but something is wrong. Kane is hurt. Some unknown organism has attached itself to his face. The crew want inside, but Ripley won't allow them to as it defies quarantine protocol. She can't risk the rest of the crew becoming infected by whatever Kane has on his face. However, Science Officer Ash takes it upon himself to disregard said protocol and open the hatch. Kane is brought to the infirmary where the creature sits attached to his face, having burned straight through his helmet. Attempting to remove the creature will only take Kane's face with it, so for the time being, Kane will be placed inside the support chamber. While the others watch from outside, Lambert attacks Ripley for not opening the hatch and leaving them outside to die. Ripley was simply trying to protect the crew from whatever has taken Kane. The creature has Kane in a coma and has placed something down his throat. It appears removing the creature would just kill Kane, so they decide the best course of action will be to cut it off. Using a laser scalpel, they cut right through one of its knuckles, causing the creature to bleed. However, its blood begins to eat right through the floor. Parker, Brett, and Dallas run from floor to floor, following the substance as it burns through each level. After burning through 2 sections, it finally stops. The creature has acid for blood, to which Parker says, "Beautiful defense mechanism, you don't dare kill it." Kane was luckily unharmed in the incident, but the creature continues to slowly pulse on his face while it does God knows what to him. Brett and Parker get back to working on the ship, while Ripley confronts Ash over letting the creature aboard when it goes against protocol. As time passes and the wind and dust continue to beat their ship, Ash calls Ripley and Dallas as there has been an interesting development with Kane. It seems the organism is no longer on Kane's face and nowhere in sight. Using light probes, they search for the creature, but must be very careful because they can't risk it bleeding again. The creature comes crashing from above, falling on Ripley. She shrieks and throws it, but it appears to be dead. Ripley wants to destroy the remains, but Ash wants to keep it, to test it. The first contact of an alien life form needs to be studied, not destroyed. Kane's vitals are also much stronger, and it looks like he might even survive. Ripley questions Dallas why he would leave a decision like the fate of the creature to Ash. Dallas tells her it's company orders. He flies the ship, and anything science-related falls under Ash. Ash was a last-minute replacement. Dallas has never worked with him before, and Ripley, she doesn't trust him. With repairs still needed to be done, Dallas decides it's time to leave. They have just enough power to get off this rock, so they fire the engines and head back to the mother ship. They make it back to the Nostromo and fire up the main engines for their journey back to Earth. They all sit around and discuss what they should do with Kane, when Lambert tells them that based on her calculations, it's gonna be another 10 months until they get home. Ash contacts them over the intercom because there has been an interesting development with Kane. He's awake and seems to be alright, just really hungry and in need of some food. The crew all sit around and have one last meal before going back into stasis sleep for 10 months. However, Kane begins to have extreme pain in his stomach and chest. The pain gets worse and worse until suddenly a creature comes bursting out of his chest in a geyser of blood and gore. The crew is stunned into silence, and before they can do anything, it's already slithered off into the darkness. With Kane's body jettisoned into space and the ship on lockdown, their one goal now is to find the creature and kill it. Dallas confronts Ash, asking why he let the alien inside live while he was monitoring Kane. Ash pushes back, saying he doesn't know what Dallas is talking about and he wants it dead just as much as Dallas. The crew uses makeshift motion trackers and cattle prods. They plan on zapping the monster, capturing it in a net and blowing it out into space. They begin to pick something up on the tracker, but when they go to capture it, it just turns out to be the cat Jones. Brett is told to find Jones, otherwise he'll keep setting off the tracker. Brett follows Jones into a quieter part of the ship. There he finds something very strange on the ground, almost like a shedded snake skin. When Brett turns, he finds the alien now towering over him. It pierces his back with its tail and drives a second, smaller mouth right into his skull. The others make it in time to see the alien crawl into the cooling duct with Brett. They tell Dallas what they saw, how much larger the creature has become. Their only course of action now is to lock the creature off in the vents and lure it out to the airlock where they can blow it into space. With a makeshift flamethrower, Dallas heads into the vent in the hopes of forcing the creature towards the airlock. Lambert and Parker keep track of Dallas with the motion tracker while Ripley closes and opens channels for Dallas. Dallas rounds a corner, firing off the flamethrower at any unwanted guests. He comes to a shaft going down, but Lambert is now picking up 2 signals. The only problem is she doesn't know which is which, and one appears to be getting very close. Lambert screams for Dallas to run, and when he turns, the beast is already upon him. All they find is Dallas's flamethrower, and with Dallas gone, this now puts Ripley in charge. The group start to argue with one another. Ripley wants to proceed with Dallas's plan, while Lambert wants to abandon ship. Only issue is their shuttle, the Narcissus, can only hold 3 people. So with that, Parker goes to refuel Dallas's weapon, and Ripley tries to calm Lambert. Ripley makes her way to command. She wants answers from Mother and thinks maybe Dallas wasn't asking the right questions. Mother comes to life and she's brought to a screen that says Special Order 937, Science Officer Eyes Only. Ripley overrides Mother, asking what Special Order 937 is. Nostromo rerouted to new coordinates. Investigate life form, gather specimen. Priority 1, ensure return of organism for analysis. All other considerations secondary. Crew, expendable. Ash knew this whole time. He was in on it from the beginning. Ash attacks Ripley, so she calls for help, but he destroys the comms. He tries choking Ripley with a rolled up magazine, but just in time, Parker and Lambert arrive. They all struggle with Ash. He's exceedingly strong. Parker hits Ash with a piece of metal, and his head flies off, revealing himself to be an android. The headless robot attacks Parker when Ripley comes in with the cattle prod and incapacitates it. They wire Ash's head up so they can get some answers, but all he tells him is that it can't be killed. It is the perfect organism. Parker's had enough and torches the robotic head. There's been a change in plans. Now they're gonna blow the ship with the alien still aboard. Ripley sends Lambert and Parker to get coolant for the shuttle's life support system while she activates the Nostromo self-destruct. As the 10-minute countdown begins, Parker notices the tracker go off and appears as though they aren't alone. The beast has Lambert cornered. Parker tries to fight the alien off her, but it's far too strong. Ripley can hear the shouts and screams pouring in over the comms. The alien grabs Parker and thrusts its jaw into his skull. By the time Ripley arrives, it's already too late, and now she's on her own. Ripley rushes towards the narcissist, but the creature is blocking her path. With the shuttle cut off, the only thing she can do now is try and stop the countdown. However, it's too late, and with only 90 seconds left, and with nothing else to lose, she runs back to the narcissist, and the alien is suddenly nowhere to be found. 70 seconds left, Ripley climbs down into the ship. She quickly readies herself and takes off in the shuttle.
2, 1.
The Nostromo explodes as the narcissist struggles to escape its destruction. Ripley has made it, just her and her cat Jones. Ripley prepares herself for the sleep home, but the nightmare isn't over yet. The alien was hidden amongst all the cables and tubing. All she can do now is run to the nearby supply room, throw on a spacesuit, and grab a grappling gun. Ripley sits down and straps herself into one of the chairs. She flushes the beast out of the wall by discharging some steam. The alien gets closer and closer, and just as it's about to strike, Ripley hits the button opening the outer hatch, sending the creature flying out towards the door. The alien hangs on for dear life. Ripley readies the grappling gun and fires straight into the monster, throwing it out into space. The gun slips from Ripley's hand and gets lodged in the door. The alien is hanging from the cable and tries to re-enter the shuttle through its engines. Ripley fires the engines and incinerates the beast in an instant. With the creature dead, Ripley makes her way to the sleep chamber, but not before sending one final transmission.
This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo. Signing off.